you want me to add more light? I can.
Hello and welcome to another segment of Nigeria Decides 2023. My name is Damlola Ogunshaki. Joining me right now to discuss is Mr. Deba Wadia. He's Executive Director, New American Community Information Center, Columbia, Ohio. Hello, Mr. Deba.
Hello, good afternoon, and hope everyone is doing well.
Yes, of course. And I'm sure you have seen what is going on. But first of all, before we talk about what's currently going on in Nigeria, now I'd like to ask you, how does it feel like to be a Nigerian and not being able to vote, seeing that you're not in Nigeria right now?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I would say that it's very challenging to be able to bear or endure it, especially at this time that we believe that it's an historic election, like it's being reported worldwide, all over the world, and not being there in person to be able to vote. It's very challenging to bear in terms of being on ground, But it is what it is because one is not at home.
All right, I'm sure you've been following the report of what is going on in Nigeria. From what you've seen and what you've heard, what do you think about the election, or how do you feel it's going?
Yeah, I've been following reports since I woke up. Especially the election has been going. Somehow it's still, the same thing that it has always been. You will always have some good moments. You will always have some bad moments. But it's just, unfortunately, some moments where you read that there are still ballots, ballot boxes being snatched and all that. But notwithstanding, it's still a good thing that is taking place, because that is what has been the fear, that there may not be an election. But the good thing is that we are here today and it's taking place. That is an encouraging event. And we just hope that those who have voted, we allow those who are yet to vote, so that the voting can continue until everybody that is supposed to vote is allowed to vote today.
Mr. Deba, have you voted before? Have you voted in Nigeria before?
I always voted, in all the elections between 1999 and 2011. We left in 2011 for the United States. So I always voted, at every election that took place at that time.
All right, can you tell us the difference, voting in Nigeria and voting in the United States?
Well, Nigeria is just about 24 years, into democracy without interruption. I would say without interruption, because from 1999 to this time, we've not had, what I grew up to know, and that was growing up in Nigeria between the 60s and 2011. We always had this, military taking over from one military to the other, and we had democracy at the time during President, what we call the Second Republic. The Third Republic failed, which is part of what I covered at that time, and we were able to write a book on that. Some of us journalists that covered that era. But Nigeria is just 24 years, and so in comparison, I would say that Nigeria is doing well, especially with the introduction of BVS or BVAS, or what they call it. But in comparison, it's very easy here to vote, especially in most of the states where you have to vote over 1 month, prior to the very day of election. We do it that way because they believe that the day of election, right, be too crowded, might be too, disorganized. And so we have 1 month, to vote for those of us who will not be able to be there on the election day. And so for Nigeria, it's everybody that comes out to vote on the election day. And so we expect it to be rowdy, we expect it to be confusing somehow. And here in Columbus, Ohio, that I live, and I believe in most of all the states, we all vote electronically. So we have voting machines. And all you do, there are spaces. We use churches, we use schools. At least space enough, big enough for people to come in to cast their vote. They check your names. You go to your voting booth, so to call it. You go to your voting booth. You are alone there. You look at the machines, the screen. It tells you who to vote for. And for us, we vote so many things when we are voting. We are voting people. We are voting issues that maybe your area, your city, or your state is putting on the ballot. And so they are different, but the thing is that Nigeria is still evolving towards that, and I believe that it's just 24 years. And I believe that as we continue, Nigeria will continue to improve.
Mm-hmm. All right. Of course, it's the 21st century, and like you said, most developed countries, they can vote from anywhere. And of course, Nigeria, that's not the case. But you're saying that it's 24 years, so it's still possible. What are the things that you think INEC needs to address in order for this to be possible? Because of course, it was pushed for in the amendment, but it was later dropped.
Yeah, like I said, we must have the facility, because if we don't have the capacity to do what is being done, especially in the Western world, when it comes to election, we will have to do it. We have to get to that level. You must have the technical wherewithal. There must be constant electricity, to service most of these things that we need. Even if you don't have electricity, there must be power to back up most of those things that we need to make our election easy. And we must also be accountable, because, for example, we vote for over a month here. Nobody tampers with your votes, throughout the period. And the thing is that they are safe, and on the day of election, they start counting. So you must have that trust. And so because of that, if you have all this technology, all this facility, then you'll be able to conduct such election as we conduct election here in the United States. And so the INEC may request for all those things. They may, especially for us who are in the diaspora, to be able to vote. But you must have the technology, you must have the capacity to be able to store all this and be accountable when it comes to, trust.
What are the expectations of the people in diaspora?
Yeah, we want to vote. We want to be able to vote, at least I can tell you that from research, we have, I would say, at least 10% of the population of Nigeria, abroad, which means that we have about 20 million, Nigerians in the diaspora. And this, if you look at some states, probably have like 5 million. So we are looking at about three to four states, being abroad. And so we want to be able to participate, to vote too, during the election. And I can assure you that people will want to make that sacrifice, especially in the United States, where the country is very big. If we have centers, that can handle election for us that are in the diaspora. Nigerians who want to go there to go vote. And our population may not make that impact, but that sense of belonging, being part of Nigeria in exercising our civic responsibility will be appreciated. So we want to vote, we want to be part of it. We want to make that sacrifice, no matter where the voting center is. Recently I just registered for my NIN, and it was not. We don't have a center here in Columbus, Ohio, so I had to travel to Dayton, where when the guy that I was doing it, he's actually based in Minneapolis, which is about 3 hours from Columbus. But he had an arrangement with Nigerians that are based in Dayton, which is about 1 hour 20 minutes, drive from Columbus. So I went there with my daughter to go register for our NIN. And so if we have election centers too, in the diaspora, anywhere, for those of us in the United States, we know where it's taking place, people will be ready to go vote and make that sacrifice.
All right, let's round it up with this question. You mentioned earlier that you've been monitoring the votes and all that, but, according to what's going on, of course, some polling units, people complained that INEC officials didn't get there early, and of course, some people have also complained of being attacked by thugs, and, all other things are going on, despite the fact that we've militarized, election in Nigeria. Now, what do you think about this? Will you say INEC, this is showing INEC preparedness, seeing that they all came out to say they were prepared before the election, and Nigerians should be, they should expect safety in this election?
Yeah, that's why we need the contribution of everybody, not just INEC. INEC officials are Nigerians. People that are voting, they are Nigerians. Those that are causing trouble, they are Nigerians. People that will handle logistics in terms of moving materials from INEC office to voting centers, they are Nigerians. And so we just need everybody to believe in this exercise, to have faith in democracy, and so come together and work together to ensure that things are easier than we have right now. Those that are causing trouble to understand that it's democracy. Democracy is for everyone to go out there and participate, and it's not something that should be seen as the end of the world. It shouldn't be like that. It's something for us every 4 years, and so it shouldn't be seen as something that, if my candidate is not going to win, I have to cause trouble, or if my candidate is winning, I have to dominate, and also harass everybody. The thing is that it's democracy. As long as everyone has put his hand, in it, we should be able to believe in it. We should be able to follow the rules, and so there shouldn't be a problem of people going to attack others that are voting. There shouldn't be problem of logistics in terms of, how do we get materials to voting centers? We should be able to work together, and in a situation like this, even INEC should be able to let their problems be known. We know that there are trust issues. If I hire this group to do this, to transport materials, or to how do we get it? And also people too that have signed up to do this job, they should be committed. We shouldn't have issues of people not showing, who have signed up to be polling poll workers and all that. So everybody needs to work together. INEC officials, Nigerians themselves, the voters. There will be delays, 1 or 2 delays in some places. It happens everywhere. But it's just for everybody to believe in this process and ensure that we don't have these issues coming up every time, especially of people going to attack police stations. It doesn't make sense at all. Why would somebody sit at home, plan, and go to police stations to cause trouble? It doesn't make sense. So we need to start educating people that you don't need to do things like that. People have developed beyond that. 24 years is good. Somebody that is born 24 years probably is married now. He probably have children. He has children. So the thing is, when you are mature, you behave maturely. And so our democracy is, has come, if you compare it to human beings, has become an adult. And so we shouldn't be having, issues that we've continually had, before today.
All right, thank you very much, Debawadia, for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
And have a great day and fulfilling success in the election.
Yes, thank you very much. And that is the Executive Director, New American Community Information Center, Columbus, Ohio. And of course, he just spoke to us about the expectations of those in diaspora. Now, to get more of our top stories and, of course, things trending around the world and following the elections, you can always follow us on all our social media platforms showing on your screen, and keep the tweets coming on our Twitter. And definitely after this, we might go to the social media hub. But of course, this is where I have to drop the curtain. So don't go anywhere, as we have another segment that will be coming soon in less than an hour.